La 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 la.
La la la
La
la.
la la la. Hello, it's the ASP.NET Community Stand-Up. This will be a quick one because it's sunny outside, which never happens in the Pacific Northwest. I am in
Exactly.
Portland. Damien, you are not.
I am not. I'm in Redmond.
Is it sunny there?
It is glorious. I don't know what I'm doing in here.
Yeah, in a windowless room. Nice
In
job.
a windowless room, talking to a screen.
John Galloway is AWOL. Presumably he is traveling. So
Okay.
as far as community stuff, the only community thing that I have is that I did the beta 3 on a Raspberry Pi yesterday using Mono. And there's like 3 different ways to get Mono on a Raspberry Pi. And it got me thinking about Linux acquisition and what the right way to do that is.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not even going to pretend to have any knowledge about that and just say, yes, we need to think about that and it needs to be great.
Is it true that we are hiring a Linux PM?
I don't know.
I
I would
heard that
like
we're
that.
hiring a Linux PM. So if you have deep
I would.
internal knowledge of Linux and want to move to
I
Redmond, call me.
I heard that because it was my idea. I
Oh, wait a
only
second.
hope.
Tell me it is true.
Yeah, I hope it's true. I mean, I'm not sure the headcount's been allocated or anything, but I said to Hunter, if we're serious about Linux, we need to have someone who actually knows what they're doing. And he said, yes, you're right. So I'm
Cool.
hoping the next step is we actually find someone.
Send me resumes and I'll split the finder's fee with Damien.
Nice, nice.
Cool. So
Cool.
yeah. So I put CTP 6 beta 3 on my machine.
hmm
Works pretty well and everything's looking nice.
Yeah, there were a couple of, I mean, it wasn't perfect. There was a couple of kind of like head slapping issues with CTP6. I apologize to everyone.
What do you got?
Um,
I hit the NuGet issue.
The NuGet issue is the one that really knocked me out. If you update NuGet, it adds a new V3 feed, which then breaks all the ASP.NET 5 stuff, so you have to disable that feed. There's a couple of little inkly bits depending on what you're doing, but once you get over those hurdles, it's pretty good.
Did
Um,
the NuGet update that was done a few days after CTP6, did that break stuff?
kind of. So
Might I be
NuGet.
wrong now?
Depending on whether, so there's a weird situation. Like when you install it, if you go into the NuGet package manager settings in VS and you look at your configured feeds, that may show you something that isn't actually the truth.
Ah.
And then if you hit OK, that will then commit what you have on that screen, which then becomes the truth, and that may then cause issues. So
Would
if you,
when you come back the second time, does it reflect reality?
yes, as far as I've seen. Jeff Fritz will know all the details of those completely, but all I know is that once I went through that cycle a couple times, made sure I unticked the V3 feed, which to be fair, the V3 feed is awesome. It makes NuGet much faster for searching and things in VS, but ASP.NET 5 doesn't support
Ah.
the NuGet V3 stuff yet.
So you're telling me this
Yes,
right here, that is
correct.
a problem?
That's a problem.
So I should uncheck the top one,
Untick the top one if you want to do ASP.NET 5 stuff.
which is what everyone wants to do, because that's why we're here.
Of course, yes. That will obviously be fixed in the next release. We're updating ASP.NET 5 for NuGet 3 at the moment. That work is happening right now. We're doing a whole bunch of low-level work right now. We're taking a chance to go back to a lot of the work we started over a year ago, or a year and a half ago even, where we first built the KRE, and now we're kind of going back in and rewriting parts of that, given all the 18 months of knowledge behind us. And factoring it better, integrating NuGet, all the other types of good stuff like that. What else? We're iterating on the localization and resource management stuff. Talking to the .NET team about getting some new APIs. A lot of that's up on GitHub, so you can kind of see our discussions in public, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully trying to get more and more of that locked down so we can get as much of it into V1 as possible. Tag Helpers is going through a big API scrub. We're changing some of the core APIs and tag helpers now to hopefully get them really good so that we don't have to change them after V1. Some of the big changes there involve moving from a string-based API to more of a buffered writer to avoid the large string allocations while you're building sort of tag helpers at runtime. And the big one is being able to target tag helpers at attributes, not just element names. So now you can create sort of an abstract or aspect-oriented type tag helper that can apply to any element if a particular attribute exists. Or you could have a tag helper that exists as both an element and an attribute, which would be common to people using Angular. Certain directives can be applied as their own custom element or can be added to any element. So we're going to have a similar concept in tag helpers, which is landing right now. And the other big thing in tag helpers is that we're very, very close to getting tooling landing, so that you'll get tag helper IntelliSense, for the element names, the attribute names, and all the code that gets mapped inside your Razor files in the VS editor. So that's going to be the next release of VS. I'm really looking forward to that as well.
The thing that you said about backing up, so tag helpers, tag helper tooling, after NuGet, sorry, and carry, localization. Those samples are on your GitHub.
Yeah, I updated that today, actually, just about an hour ago. So
that was my question. So yes, those are for beta 3 now, and those are updated?
No, so sorry, Tag Helper Starter Web was updated for beta 3. So that was my sample of file new as a tag helper. So there were some API changes for tag helpers in beta 3, so I applied those to there. The localization prototype I've updated. We've changed the names of a couple of interfaces. I've reacted to some changes in underlying pieces so that it actually compiles and runs again. That doesn't run on beta 3. That runs on like latest. What I'll do after this meeting is I'll open up this laptop, which has beta 3 on it, and I'll try and get the localization sample running on there. I don't know if it runs on beta 3 or not, but if it does, I'll make it work and I'll...
Yeah, that'd be great. If you give me that, I'll take it and show it tomorrow at dayof.net.
Okay. I'll try and get that working. Yeah. And so the rest of it is, because there are lots of tag helpers. MVC, we're doing a lot of API scrubs. So we're going back through a lot of the work now and looking at it with fresh eyes and trying to simplify APIs in places. Doing a little bit of refactoring or teasing apart or smushing together where it makes sense. So there's lots of stuff going on.
Is that what an API scrub is for us? I'm asking questions I know the answer to, but this is like a defragmentation of the API. Like, does this all make sense and look well together?
Yeah. Basically, an API scrub, you can think of it as, let's look at APIs from a new angle. Like, a lot of the time, the APIs are developed in isolation, like in a little silo. I need to add this feature to this thing because I'm running in this sprint and I've been assigned these tasks. And then sometimes we need to take a step back and go, okay, if we take APIs A, B, C, D, and E, and we use them together in an app that wants to do these things, is it actually intuitive? Do they flow well together? Can we do something a little higher level? All those type of things. Or perhaps we've gone a little too architecty in some places, and we've teased apart stuff to the point that it becomes so, it's very flexible, but it's really hard to compose them together because we broke one thing down into 17 separate modules just in case that you want to be able to use 16 of them and replace one, and that makes it unwieldy. Like, everything is a balance, right? We could tease everything apart so that every method is on one interface and you can compose anything into anything, but then the framework becomes completely unwieldy. So we're trying to strike that fine balance all the time.
Cool. Couple of things conference-wise. I will be at formerly DallasDayOf.net, now called MVP Mix. So if you're in the Dallas or Dallas area this weekend, take a look at MVP Mix. I guess they'll give you money discount with a tag Hanselman. Then we've got .NET Fringe in April. Are you going to drive down from Portland to Portland?
No, I said no. I was asked and I said no. I'm going to, because I'm going to New Zealand in April, then hopefully off to Build as well, and then hopefully off to Oslo in June. I'm trying to not do anything in between those.
All right, cool. Rather go to Oslo than Portland. I'm not sure why. Build. I'll be at Build. You'll be at Build.
Yep.
Then I will be briefly at Chicago at Ignite, formerly TechEd.
Okay.
And then Angle Brackets. Take a look at a lot of cool stuff going on at Angle Brackets at anglebrackets.org. Again, Hanselman will get you money off on that. So those are the kind of events we've got going in the next few months. What are we going to have ready at Build?
Some bits, I hope. I think the milestone that we're currently working on, my understanding is it's supposed to drop around that time frame. So you can probably... Pardon?
Does it have a name?
In the source code, it's called Beta 4.
Beta 4 in the source code. Okay, cool.
Yeah, which is the one after Beta 3. So.
I would never have guessed that, just as I never would have guessed Windows 9. I mean 10.
Yes, exactly. So, I got you guessing
there. Can you do a dramatic zoom out for me?
Okay.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for coming. See you again next week.